Welcome to Biohacking with Brittany. Thank you for tuning in today. I am your host, Brittany Ford, and we are diving into some really exciting questions today that have come through my DMs. And yeah, it's a little bit of a Q&A. It's a shorter episode, probably. We'll see. And yeah, I'm here to kind of just provide some insight, some information and research on some of these topics that kind of come up again and again. Last night, I got back from Austin, Texas. I was there for the first time for 5 days, 4 nights, and a friend of mine was getting married. And so we went, and me, my husband, and my baby went, and we brought my mom with because no kids were allowed at the wedding. So my mom took care of Callahan, and it was awesome. And I love Austin, Texas. So shout out to every single person who lives there. Austin is such a biohacking hub. Like when did I start hearing about it? Maybe a couple of years ago. And more people were talking about it, and more events were starting to be hosted in Austin. So I knew going this weekend, I knew I was going to like find things I wanted to do and be able to kind of like enjoy the community a bit. And downtown Austin was 100% like that. So it was different. It was different than I thought it was going to be. I didn't realize how south Austin is. So it was super hot and very Spanish, to be honest. Like I had no idea I was going to be that Spanish. As a Canadian, I don't really know kind of how Spanish works in the US. That sounds terrible, but I don't. Like I understand the politics with French in Canada, but not as much as Spanish in the US. So it was really interesting to experience that. And also just be in such a city that focuses on health and fitness so much. Like I don't remember the last time I was walking down the street and I saw so many people in fitness gear, like girls walking around in Lululemon, like bra, shorts, coming from this fitness class, going to that, smoothies, coffees, so many people running. Everyone was fit. Like literally everybody is fit who lives in Austin. It was wild. It was so awesome to see. And I think if I was going to live in the States, Austin would definitely be a contender because it just reflects, my health and wellness values. And I can see why so many biohacking events happen in Austin and why so many biohackers live there. Like there's multiple famous people in our community that reside in Austin. Dave Asprey, I think Luke Story's in Austin, and a bunch of other people. Those are the top that come to mind. And next year alone, like the biohacking conference is in Austin in May. The Health Optimization Summit is in Austin in April. So it's just so cool to kind of see those taking place. And I will try to attend both of those, to be determined. I have to map out my year by the end of this year of what I'm going to go to. I took a break from conferences this year because I was pregnant for the majority of the year. And then, with a newborn, it was just something that was not really doable super easily. So I'll be back next year going to them. And I also really want to go to this new one I just heard about that was this weekend was it in Palm Beach? I don't know where it was, somewhere in Florida. And I think it's called Eudomania, something like that. And my friend Katie was there and some other people. And then I look at the speakers, and the speakers are insane that this conference had. Like again, Dave Asprey and Mark Hyman was there, Byron Johnson was there, or Bryn Johnson, sorry, and just a bunch of other people. And so it was so cool to see such a massive conference. A bunch of the brands that I love were there, that I've worked with, that I use their supplements or their products. And so that is definitely one that I want to check out next year as well. I kind of think my goal, which might be a hefty goal with a baby, but my goal is, I think I want to do Health Optimization Summit in April, which is put on by Tim Gray. Then I want to do Biohacking Conference by Dave Asprey in May. Then I want to do one of the women's health conferences that Goop puts on with Gwyneth Paltrow, and those are in LA. There's one in November, but there's a few in the year. So I'm going to try and do one of those. And then I want to do this Eudomania one next November, I think. I think I'm going to skip A4M, which is the longevity ones. I've heard mixed reviews about it. So yeah, that's kind of what's on my docket. And I will talk more about that as we get closer to the dates and that type of thing. If I book my tickets, etc., I'll see what I can do. See if I can get, discounts for my followers. That would be great because the tickets are expensive. So yeah, Austin was awesome. And there's a biohacking clinic there. It's called Matter. I think it's called Matter, like Mattr. And I didn't get to go because again, we were there for a wedding and I had my baby this time. But next time I go, I really want to go and check out all their biohacking tech. They have a bunch of cool stuff and I would just love to spend some time there. There's also Upgrade Labs and there's a few other places. I will do a shout out to the restaurant, The Well. Oh my goodness. If I was going to create a restaurant, it would be The Well. I cannot explain to you how healthy this restaurant is. So everything, all of the meat is top quality. We're talking grass-fed, grass-finished, pasture-raised, etc., etc. They only cook with actually good oils. There's no grapeseed oil. There's no safflower, sunflower, canola, none of that. None of those really, really toxic oils. The way that they pair everything is amazing. They have bone broth. That was incredible. I actually ended up going to talk to the chef in the back about their bone broth. And I was like, how do you make your bone broth like this? And essentially it's very like creamy bone broth, but it's not dairy based. So he walked me through kind of how he cooks it and how he makes it. So I'm going to try and replicate it at home. We'll see what I can do. But it's the best bone broth I've ever had in my life, hands down. And so that was awesome. And just really healthy food, but very filling, very tasty. The interior was beautiful, very healthy vibes, like just exactly what I would create, like 100%. Like I wish I could just invest in that restaurant and give them a bunch of money because I would just love to see it thrive. And so if you're in Austin, check out The Well, no affiliation, of course. But they do 100% get my stamp of approval because I was just blown away by the ability to make healthy dishes taste that good at a great price point in a great atmosphere is like awesome. Okay. So before we get started on this episode today, a shout out to BioOptimizers. Listen, guys, it's November. So we know that all of the brands and everybody is having Black Friday sales. BioOptimizers is starting early. Shout out to them for that. And their products are on sale all of November. So I think everything is 15% off. I think if you use my discount code BioHackingBrittany, you get an extra 10% off. That's 25% off every single supplement. So definitely check it out. If you've heard of them and you've always wanted to try them, this is the best time. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. This is the best time to go, best time to order magnesium, digestive enzymes, probiotics. They have protein powder. What else do they have? They have HCl. They have things that help with like stomach acid, which would be the HCl. They do a bunch of other supplements and they're just one of my favorite brands I've ever worked with. I've been working with them for 3 years. So check out BioOptimizers. November is your time to shine. Don't let it pass you. Don't let the sale pass you. I'm going to place an order for my family and myself as well. And yeah, let's dive into today's episode. All right. First question. Hi, Brittany. I keep hearing about Ozempic and Pendulum, and I know they both have to do with metabolic health, but how exactly do they work? And what's the deal with this Akkermansia bacteria that Pendulum uses? Can it really help with weight management? Great question. First of all, I just want to say, Pendulum, if you're listening, I am trying to get you on my podcast. Here I am again talking about you. So I am going to follow up on my email. Please send somebody to come on my podcast. I would love to have you so we can dive into this. For now, let's start with the basics, okay? I know Ozempic is such a hot topic. Everybody is using it. People say they're not using it and they are using it, and they're using other ones that are similar to Ozempic. There's so much talk about this and it's kind of everywhere. All the influencers are using it, celebrities. And so I can see why this question would come up. So let's kind of differentiate between the two. So Ozempic is a GLP-1 receptor agonist, which means it mimics the hormone GLP-1 to help regulate blood sugar levels and appetite. GLP-1 is naturally released in the gut and plays a huge role in signaling fullness and reducing gastric emptying. That's why Ozempic helps with blood sugar control and weight loss. It makes you feel fuller for longer and reduces food cravings. So let's just clear that up just a little more clear. It mimics the hormone GLP-1, and GLP-1 helps to reduce when you feel hungry because it helps to reduce gastric emptying and signals fullness for longer, right? So it mimics that exact mechanism because it is a receptor agonist. So that's kind of how that works in terms of weight management and weight loss. It works in that hormonal pathway. Now, Pendulum, completely different, but kind of similar results, I guess. So Pendulum is different. Instead of targeting GLP-1 receptors, Pendulum works directly on the gut microbiome. One of its key components is a unique probiotic strain called Akkermansia muciniphila, which has gained attention in recent years as a superstar for metabolic health. Research has shown that Akkermansia helps strengthen the gut barrier, which is essential for overall gut health and immunity. So here's where it gets really interesting. Akkermansia is unique because it feeds on the mucus lining of your gut. Now you might be thinking, wait, that doesn't sound good. Why would that happen? But actually it is beneficial because by feeding this mucus layer, Akkermansia helps stimulate the production of more mucus, which protects the gut lining and reduces inflammation, a key factor in weight gain and metabolic issues. Research published in the journal Nature Medicine found that Akkermansia levels are often lower in people with obesity or metabolic disorders. When researchers supplemented with Akkermansia in overweight mice, they noticed improved insulin sensitivity and reduced fat accumulation. In human studies, supplementation with Akkermansia has been linked to improvements in metabolic markers, and some people report benefits like reduced sugar cravings and better appetite control. So in Pendulum, Akkermansia works alongside other probiotic strains to support the gut's role in managing metabolism. So by balancing the microbiome, Pendulum aims to improve glucose metabolism, which is essential for sustained weight management. So you can see how it's different. The Ozempic here works on the hormonal pathway and Pendulum works on the microbiome pathway instead of trying to alter our hormones. So to sum it up, Ozempic directly targets GLP-1 receptors to suppress appetite, while Pendulum takes a more holistic gut-focused approach using Akkermansia. Both have a role in metabolic health, but they're tackling it from very different angles. So if you're looking for weight management support without prescription meds, Pendulum might be a natural option for you to explore. I also do want to quickly add a couple notes to this. So side effects are something to consider as well if you are going to be looking at going down the pathway of one of these. So Ozempic, there are a lot of side effects that people know about. The ones that are actually noted are things like nausea, diarrhea, constipation, sometimes more serious effects like pancreatitis and gallbladder issues. It can also cause headaches and fatigues. And since it's a prescription drug, obviously Ozempic should be only taken under medical supervision. Pendulum, on the other hand, because it's a probiotic supplement, its side effects are generally mild and may include digestive upset or gas as the body adjusts to the new gut bacteria. For most people, these effects subside as the microbiome stabilizes. It's definitely something to consider. And I just want to do I'm not shouting out these companies because I am not affiliated with them at all. Other GLP-1 options are ones that are similar to Ozempic that we are also seeing advertised to us all the time now. So the next most popular one I think would be Wegovy, which is similar to Ozempic and is a GLP-1 agonist, but specifically is approved for weight management. whereas Ozempic is for type 2 diabetes, but people are using it off-label for weight management. The other ones are ribelsis. This is an oral form of semaglutide, the same active ingredient in Ozempic, and maybe more convenient for those who prefer pills over injections, because Ozempic is injections that you have to put into yourself. And the other one is the Trulicity. This is another GL1P agonist. It's often used for type 2 diabetes, which also helps with appetite regulation and weight loss. So they're all kind of similar to Ozempic. They all have their own side effects. So if you're considering any of these, do your research, be really cautious of what you're doing. And I will probably do a full episode on this. So stay tuned for that, because I do want to talk about the long-term effects of this. I might actually try to get someone to come on the show who's actually used Ozempic. That would be very interesting. So let me know what you think. Or if you want to come on and be interviewed with your experience about Ozempic, that would be awesome. So send me a message on Instagram and we can chat at BioHackingBrittany. Do you like free stuff? Well, you're in luck, because BiOptimizer's Black Friday deal starts now, and they are giving away free gifts with every purchase. That's right. I have an exclusive advance invite to BiOptimizer's Black Friday deal for the entire month of November. This is their best sale of the entire year, guys. If you're feeling stressed out or haven't been sleeping well lately, you are not alone. Story of my life. You might not be able to change all the chaos out there, but you can start supplementing with one key nutrient to improve your sleep quality, as well as over 600 other biochemical reactions in the body. That's wild. Magnesium Breakthrough is the only product I have found that has all the magnesium forms in one convenient bottle. You'll open less bottles, spend less money, and still get the top 7 forms of magnesium for better sleep, manage stress, balance hormones, improve mood, feel refreshed, all in one bottle. When you get all 7 critical forms of magnesium, pretty much every function in your body gets upgraded. Right now, for the entire month of November, BiOptimizers, the makers of Magnesium Breakthrough, are having a Black Friday blowout sale on all of their products. All month long, you get discounts with my unique code, plus access to up to $100 in free gifts with purchase. This is the best time to stock up and take advantage of all the free extras you're going to get. Seriously, I would stock up for the entire year. You can get this exclusive deal through my link, especially made for you. You won't find this on Amazon or even on the company website. It's actually only through my link. So you can go to biooptimizers.com/biohackingbrittany and use my discount code biohackingbrittany to get your discount and free gifts today. One last thing you should know, all BiOptimizers supplements are best in class. If for some reason you feel differently, you can get a full refund for up to 1 year after your purchase, no questions asked, which is crazy. So again, guys, if you want to get magnesium, if you want to get their digestive enzymes, probiotic, mushroom breakthrough, all of the products that I love from them, November is easily the best time to do this. This will get you the most percentage off, the best price for the entire year, up to 25% off of everything, every single product. So go now, biooptimizers.com/biohackingbrittany. Use my discount code biohackingbrittany. It's going to be on my website. It's going to be in my show notes. It's going to be super easy for you to find. Enjoy this exclusive deal for November. Second question. Hey, Brittany, you talk about EMF exposure a lot, but can you explain what EMFs really are? And are there any more strategies for reducing EMF in my home beyond the basics? Good question. I had my other girlfriend actually ask me about this as well. She was asking for, ways to reduce EMF at home. She's very new to the world of EMF, and she's just like, how do I start with the basics, So this person wants more than basics. So we're going to kind of cover both in this question. So let's start with a little EMF science. So EMFs, or electromagnetic fields, are energy waves that come from both natural and man-made sources. While the Earth produces a natural electromagnetic field, we're also surrounded by man-made EMFs from our devices, like Wi-Fi routers, cell phones, laptops, and even smart appliances. There are different types, but the main ones we encounter daily are low-frequency EMFs from household electronics and high-frequency EMFs from sources like X-rays. So there's a lot of health impacts of EMF. Research into the health impacts of EMFs is still evolving, but we know that high prolonged exposure can contribute to issues like oxidative stress and inflammation. A study published in the Journal of Chemistry Neuroanatomy suggested that chronic EMF exposure can increase oxidative stress, which is associated with aging and cellular damage. Some people also report symptoms like headaches, fatigue, sleep disturbances, especially if they're sensitive to EMFs. While the science isn't fully settled, many biohackers and people choose to minimize exposure as a preventative measure. And I think that is very accurate from what I have seen and experienced myself. I have been open to the world of EMF for quite a few years. And as more and more things become smart, I become more and more cautious of using them. So everything it feels like now is smart, right? Like you got a microwave that is smart and can connect to Wi-Fi, and then you get the app and then you can control it from your phone. And same with the fridge and same with the kettle and like everything is like that now. The light switches, the temperature in your house, the sauna, the hot tub, the whatever it is, right? And so while it might be convenient to be able to control electronics like that from different places and not be directly connect, like right in front of it, you are creating so much more EMF. The more things, more electronics that you have connected to your Wi-Fi, the worse off you are, the worse off your health is. And so you really do have to be cautious when you're choosing to add those types of things to your house. So for example, like in our house, we were thinking, okay, do we get cameras outside of our house for safety reasons? And I said to my husband, I was like, while I think it would be great to have that sense of security, how many cameras are we putting around our house? Like, are we putting one at every door? So that's 3. And then they're going to connect to Wi-Fi. And now there's just more signals coming off of everything across the house. And I'm not going to hardwire them. Like, I'm not going to go to those lengths to do that. I don't live in an unsafe neighborhood in order to justify that much effort and that much cost. So we just decided not to do cameras at all. And instead we used like bolts on the doors and extra like locking mechanisms that are manual from the inside. And those create like a peace of mind, right? So every door is like double locked and like that's that. Now we don't have to think about it. So I'm just cautious when, we're thinking about, okay, do we add in these extra technologies? And what does that mean? What does that mean for the EMF in our home? Also, when we bought this house, it didn't come with a microwave, and we're not going to buy a microwave. I'm not going to add in, again, an extra thing that gets plugged in that gives off EMF. I'm not going to microwave food, which gives off terrible radiation, microwave. Like the EMF from microwaves itself is horrific, and it denatures food. So it actually reduces the nutrient quality in food. It denatures proteins, it reduces the vitamin mineral content, and it just makes the food less nutritious. So why would I have that in my home at all? And it's funny when people come over and they want to warm up food and we don't have a microwave, and they are like shocked. And I'm like, okay, use the stove, use the oven, there's other ways to do this. So that's one of the hacks that, I have implemented for a long time. And if you are in a place where you do have a microwave and you want to stop using it, what we did was, when that was us, we unplugged it. And once you unplug that, typically the plug is in a very awkward place to get to, and it's not easy to get to. So once you unplug it, you're not going to plug it in every day. You don't have time. You're busy. You don't care enough. And so we just kept ours unplugged. Okay. And so here are some more like strategies to kind of help you reduce the EMFs in your home. So you can get a Faraday cage for your router. A Faraday cage is essentially an EMF shielding enclosure that blocks radiation. You can place one around your Wi-Fi router to limit the reach of EMFs in your home without sacrificing connectivity. This is a great idea. So, the simplified version of this is turning your Wi-Fi off at night when you're not using it and simply unplugging it. But if you want to keep it on and you want something to mitigate the EMF from your Wi-Fi during the day, you can use a Faraday cage. The second is something more advanced, is EMF blocking paint. Now, I have no experience with this, but I've seen it on the market. And some companies offer special paints that block electromagnetic fields. You can use it on bedroom walls to prevent outside EMFs from entering, which is especially helpful if you live in a densely populated area. I think this works by like silver content, like silver particles being added to the paint and the silver blocking the EMF from coming through, like shielding it just like silver clothing works. I could be wrong, but I think that's how I saw that is the mechanism behind that. You could do EMF shielding curtains. So for windows, EMF blocking curtains can prevent EMFs from entering through the glass. These work particularly well in bedrooms to create a low EMF sleep environment. The caveat to this, or not caveat, the extra thing that you can do to this is have a Faraday cage around your bed, which I've seen people do. So if you've ever seen those nets that go around beds that keep out mosquitoes in different countries, especially like warm countries, when I was in Tanzania, we had these like mosquito nets over our beds. So you can get that, but it's a Faraday cage and it blocks EMF from coming into your bed when you're sleeping at night. I don't have one of those. I think that's next level. Could be a good idea if you are really, really serious about blocking out EMF. The, obvious thing to do before that would be get your phones out of the bedroom, put them on airplane mode. That's like so simple, so obvious to do. And also EMF blocking clothing is great as well. My favorite is Juunaday. I know a bunch of you have tried them. I love Juunaday. My girlfriend Marjorie runs that company. And I actually just wore her play suit on the plane yesterday and the few days before because I wanted to block the EMF on my body. So I always wear her clothes when I fly. So definitely check out Juunaday. I will link them in the show notes so you can easily find them. And then a couple of other companies to shout out, like going back to the home, is Leela Quantum Tech. So and Somavedic. So I'll talk about both. So both of these brands offer tools that are designed to neutralize or harmonize EMFs. Leela Quantum Tech provides wearable and home-based products that create a quantum field to help mitigate EMF exposure. So I have their quantum energy block, I'm forgetting what it's called, but I have one upstairs and I have one on the main floor by the Wi-Fi. And then Somavedic, on the other hand, uses a combination of minerals and frequencies to create a balanced environment in the home. And I have a Somavedic device in my living room. And these tools are great options for those who want extra protection. I have discount codes for both because they're both very expensive. So definitely use my discount, BioHackingBrittany. So yeah, if I was starting out and I was listening to this podcast and I was new to EMF, I would either get the Leela Quantum Tech block or a Somavedic. So something that alters the energy fields. Then I would turn off my phone at night and keep it out of my room. And anyone else you're sleeping with, same rule applies. I would reduce how much smart technology you have. And I would turn my Wi-Fi off at night. That would be the beginning. Those are major things that I think can help. And yeah, start there and see how you feel if you're experiencing any symptoms. Like those are really, really big ones. The other thing would be like Bluetooth. Always keep Bluetooth off. Every single device, computer, phone, all the time. When you turn your phone back on, it automatically turns on Bluetooth. So you actually have to go in every single time and turn Bluetooth off. Be very cautious of this. avoid the Bluetooth headphones. I try really hard not to use Bluetooth headphones. The only time I have ever really used them is like specific workouts where it's really hard and I can't put my phone on speakerphone. That's the only time. Otherwise, I use wired headphones, like the typical Apple wired headphones, or I put my phone on speakerphone and I just don't use them. Also, whenever you're making a phone call, I put my phone on speakerphone and I never really try hard to not put the phone to my head. The radiation that comes from a phone when it's on a call is horrific. And what it does to your brain, there's studies and images that show where the phone has been and how it alters the brain. And the longer you're on that phone call, the worse off your brain is. So speakerphone, further away from your body, the better. And then you can always get some clothing like Juunaday to kind of help you out as well. Those are my strategies for low EMF living and creating a low EMF environment to help with better rest and recovery. It's going to be really hard in our world and society today to eliminate EMFs entirely. These adjustments can help reduce exposure though, and potentially support your overall health. Okay, so moving on to a more unique question about male fertility. I love this. I am so interested in fertility and motherhood and postpartum and male fertility as well. So here is what this person wrote in. Hey, Brittany, are there any specific biohacks that can help with male fertility? I've heard there are ways to naturally boost sperm quality and testosterone levels. What are some things I can try and what are your thoughts on this? So yeah, absolutely. I've talked about this before. Happy to kind of do a bit of a review. So this is such an important question because male fertility rates have declined in recent years, and many people are looking for natural ways to optimize reproductive health. There are some niche biohacks that can actually make a difference. And the first one is red light therapy. So red light therapy for testicular health. Applying red light therapy to the lower abdomen or directly to the testes has shown promising results for improving testosterone and sperm quality. The red light helps stimulate mitochondrial activity in cells, enhancing energy production and cellular repair. However, use caution, ensure you're using a device designed safely for that area. Now, I don't know any specific devices that are actually designed for that area. However, I think if you were to stand in front of red light panels, hanging from a door or standing up, I think that would work perfectly well. And I would follow the recommendations that come with your specific light on duration, how often to use, and that type of thing. But you can obviously stack this with other biohacks at the same time. So like, say you're standing working at your desk at home, you could have your red light therapy on your testes underneath your desk while you're working, for example, right? So there's ways to kind of like stack things when you're doing red light therapy in that way. The second, and these are very niche biohacks that I'm giving you, I have an entire course on optimizing fertility for men and women where I go through all of the basics and the niche as well, and like, advanced biohacks. So these ones are kind of more of the advanced niche things that I think you could do to add in. So there are cooling boxers with ice packs. And I think the company, let me just look it up. The company that my husband used, I think is called Snowballs. That's such a funny thing. Yeah, it's called Snowballs. Cooling underwear for men. Hilarious. So funny. Okay, so this is exactly what you think it is. So maintaining a cold temperature in the testicular area is crucial for sperm health. Some companies now offer specialized cooling boxers with gel inserts that you can freeze. These gel inserts and these ice boxers help maintain an optimal temperature, especially helpful for those who work in hot environments or spend long hours sitting, right? So if you're sitting for a long time, it creates warmth there from the body heat from your legs and your body. So these cooling gel packs can really help. Now, my husband used them when we would actually go in the sauna all the time or the steam room. And this is before we had our own. So he would literally wear like a bathing suit underneath. He'd wear these boxers and inside would be like the cooling gel packs, which would keep his balls cold. Let's say it like it is, his balls cold while the rest of his body was sweating. And it was especially funny when we were in like a public steam room and no one else around us knew, that he has like these ice packs like right on his balls. So that is a great application for this. The sauna has so many benefits, but it does increase testy temperature, it increases your whole body temperature. And that's not what we want for sperm at all, because it does reduce sperm parameters like quality, mobility, count, all of those different things. So we want to keep the testes and the sperm cooler and so that they are healthier. Now, you can do a bunch of testing for male fertility. Again, I go through this in my course, baby steps, but knowing your baseline is key. You can request a semen analysis, and this is typically covered by your doctor. It is in Canada, so I don't know about the States, but that's typically something that your doctor can order. And it measures sperm count, motility, and morphology. And you can also do hormone tests that look at testosterone and FSH. And this can give insights to hormonal balance. These metrics provide a roadmap for areas to focus on. So I would try to go through whatever healthcare that you have. If you don't have healthcare, if your doctor won't order the tests, if you have some sort of hiccup that you come across, I would go through Cyfox. So Cyfox is the company that I have been using this year to test my hormones and also other things as well, like my inflammation, vitamin D levels. I forget, there's a whole bunch of different biomarkers that they do in their lab test. So I've been doing that. Super easy and super affordable, which is what I like about Cyfox, is it's very accessible for most people and it covers a great range of biomarkers. So it's really easy. It's a blood test at home. You prick your finger, you put it on a little piece of cardboard and you send it back in. You get the results within 2 weeks. Super straightforward. Really recommend it to anybody. And if you're looking for male fertility, you're wondering, how's my testosterone? How's my TSH? How's all of my other hormones and, biomarkers doing? Do Cyfox. Super easy. I love at-home tests. Yeah, they're great. And it's a great company as well. I've worked with them. They're really great. And last but not least, something like you could think about, and this is really just like the icing on the cake, or not the icing on the cake, the low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? Like I'm really talking about just a few things here because there's so much you could do. Male infertility would be its own podcast episode. So these are just a few things. But think about things like ashwagandha and antioxidants. Studies have shown that ashwagandha can improve sperm count and motility, while antioxidants like CoQ10, vitamin C, and vitamin E help protect sperm from oxidative stress. We know that stress reduces testosterone levels and has an impact on sperm. And when you are overstressed, it doesn't make sense for you to be super fertile, right? Because your body is dealing with so much else that reproducing is not on the top of its list. So reducing stress, managing it in the ways that you can is something I strongly, strongly recommend. My husband takes a lot of ashwagandha. He's actually off of it right now. I should get him back on it. But when he was going through a tough time with work a couple of years ago, I had him on quite a bit of it. And ashwagandha has a lot of research behind it because it is an adaptogen that basically helps balance your hormones. So look into that. Again, I think a lot of men and women are stressed, but men are stressed in quite a different way, I would say. Most of the men that I know in my life are quite stressed. I think they feel a lot of pressure to be successful, to provide for their families, to be super jacked and ripped, and to be, all of those things by the age of 30 or 40 or whatever ages they have coming up, right? So I think there's a lot of pressure that they experience, not to diminish at all the pressure that women can experience. But I do think men go through a lot as well. And so getting support from adaptogens, from antioxidants is one way that you can kind of help support your body, which then can support your fertility. If you're interested in really, really optimizing your fertility journey and you and your partner are trying or you're thinking about trying, I cover these foundational strategies in my course, Baby Steps. I guess I can say this, but it's going on sale for Black Friday. So you could get it then. And that will be, it'll be a hefty discount. So definitely sign up. It's a great resource for optimizing your health and preparing the body for conception. And I cover both male and female fertility. And I do want to say, and I had someone write in, if you buy it and you're part of a couple, send me your partner's email and I will give them access to your account. You both don't have to buy it. That's ridiculous. I would never ask that. I had a woman write in and she's like, I would love my husband to have access to this. So I, gave him his own login, made his own account. There you go. So really suggest that for you if you guys are thinking about getting pregnant. All right. Last but not least, this is a really cool question. So someone sent me this message. It was a while ago. This one was from a long time ago. I think I posted something on my stories doing an AMA and someone wrote this. And they said, if you had to invest in one longevity hack, what would it be and why? So there's so many ones I could say here. I'm going to say what's relevant to me right now, but this could be different on any given day. Right now, I would say red light therapy. Now, maybe you're rolling your eyes at that and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I've already heard about red light therapy, blah, blah, blah. Nothing's new. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Because what I'm seeing in the red light therapy space is very innovative, is a lot of really cool ideas and tech and wearables and different ways of applying it. So I think it's quite an exciting space. It basically works by using specific wavelengths of red and near infrared light to penetrate the skin and reach the mitochondria, which are the powerhouses of our cells. Thank you, grade 5 science class. This process is called photobiomodulation, and it offers several health benefits. So it can enhance ATP production, which red light therapy helps mitochondria produce more ATP, which is the energy source for cellular functions. More ATP means better energy production and repair capabilities, which are essential for slowing down aging. It can reduce inflammation. So red light therapy has been shown to lower inflammatory markers, which is crucial since chronic inflammation is tied to many age-related diseases. It's particularly helpful for joint health, muscle recovery, and managing chronic pain. Increased collagen production. Hello, who doesn't want that? Okay. It can improve skin elasticity and reduce wrinkles. It's often used in that anti-aging space. And it can improve circulation. So red light therapy supports new blood vessels forming, which enhances oxygen and nutrient delivery throughout the body, aiding in muscle recovery and overall tissue health. So what do I do? What do I do? What devices do I have? Let me tell you. First of all, I have the Kineon device, and this is a very, very intense, effective device. Probably the best one that I have, I would say. Yeah, probably the best quality red light therapy device I have. So I use this on my C-section scar. And this was one of the recommendations I had from my doula. I already had the device before her recommendation. And it's for those reasons that I just said. So it helps with reaching the mitochondria in the cells in that area. Helps reduce the inflammation there. There's a lot of inflammation, right? When you get a C-section, they cut open 7 layers of skin, and then you are sewn back together on every layer. So think about the scar tissue that's formed. In the first year, really the first 6 months, but the first year post a C-section, you have a lot of opportunity to reduce how big it is, what's known as the C-section shelf, which is basically the fat above the C-section hangs over the scar. So you have a chance to reduce that by mitigating and reducing how much scar tissue is there. And red light therapy is one of those things that can actually help with that, along with massage. So I'm trying to do it daily. I haven't been super good at it recently, but I need to get back on it. And the device I use for that is Kineon, and I have their body strap. So I strap it around my entire waist and I do 20 minutes of it. And I think that's super, super important. I also have a red light therapy face mask from Higher Dose. This is great. Again, to be honest, I don't use it that much. I should use it more because my skin needs it. But if you are somebody who, wrinkles easily like I do, genetically I do, I've literally had my genes tested in relation to my skin health, and it showed me that I wrinkle easily or faster than the average person. But on the flip side, I get gray hair like slower than the average person. So, you can't have it all. Anyway, so I think a face mask, the red light therapy face mask could be great for that. And the new thing that I'm seeing out is hats or like caps. Now, I actually want to get one of these because I'm starting to experience postpartum hair loss. And I think red light therapy would be awesome for this. So I want to wear the hat and be able to kind of just support the hair follicles on my scalp. There's two that are really good. They're so expensive. I think they're like $800 each. Ugh. So we'll see. I might get one for Black Friday. We'll see. But if you want the face mask I have, you can grab it. Use my discount code from Higher Dose. My discount code is BIOHACKINGBRITTANY. And if you want the Kineon device, if you're dealing with something like a scar, like severe back pain, knee pain, injury pain, anything like that you need targeted red light therapy for, that is not just like a panel hanging off of your door, I would get the Kineon device. It's hands-free, so you charge it and it can go, in different types of straps. So a skinnier one, a smaller one, and a bigger one for different parts of your body. And then you can just wear it around your house while you're doing other things. So it just makes sense. So you can use my discount code BIOHACKINGBRITTANY again if you want to try that as well. So that would be my longevity hack right now that I would go with. I think this red light therapy space is not nearly what it is going to be in the future. I think there's a lot coming in this space, and it's really developed actually a lot in the last 5 years. Like in the beginning, it was just like little panels and there was like a couple of companies. Now there's so many companies out there. And so I think it's cool to kind of see how much it's growing. So if you haven't hopped on the train, I would definitely look at it for this year if you can. So thank you for joining me on this episode of Biohacking with Brittany. I hope you found these answers helpful, from understanding metabolic health from, with Ozempic and Pendulum to unique fertility biohacks and EMF reduction strategies. Again, if you're on your fertility journey, sign up for my course, Baby Steps, and you will get everything you need to know about diving in to how to optimize your health for conception, which is super important. So keep sending in your questions as I love hearing from you. And don't forget to subscribe for more biohacking tips. And until next time, keep exploring and experimenting for a healthier and happier life. Thank you for listening. I will catch you on Friday for another episode. Thanks for listening to another episode of Biohacking with Brittany. If you're interested in finding the show notes or the sponsors for this episode, you can do so on my website, which is biohackingbrittany.com. Remember to follow me on Instagram where I'm most active. My handle is @biohackingbrittany. And if you're interested in working together and you want to email me directly, you can do that. My email is info@biohackingbrittany.com. And I look forward to hearing from you and having you tune in next week.